Good evening, good evening, good evening. I have no idea what this strange watermark is on my screen, but we will continue 1 second. Oh, chill. Okay. All right. I don't know why this. Okay, here we go. All right, y'all. Welcome to the virtual orientation or the Q&A for Foodie Fest. That is this May. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. It's been a day. um, that is May 11th at Bicentennial Park, as you all know. So we'll have a succinct conversation so I can answer any questions that any of y'all have as we are preparing for the day. I'll give you some updates on what we've done, what's going on, what progress we're making. We'll talk about some expectations and throughout the day. So as you all know, the date is May 11th. Saturday from 11 to 4, we did get our permit passed for blocking off the streets from the event that was rescheduled from October. We had to start that process all over again. So we got our permits approved to block off the street, and I'll show you the map here in a moment of the layout of Bicentennial Park. So if you're unfamiliar, Bicentennial Park is the area in front of the Civic Center in the Arts District of downtown Oklahoma City, between the Civic Center and City Hall, off Walker Street, between Concord and Couch. So we got that approved. So the streets will be blocked off starting Friday at 4 o'clock on the intersection until Saturday at 10 p.m. So there will be no drive-through traffic for Foodie Fest. It'll only be pedestrian traffic. Parking is free on the weekends, so you won't have to pay for parking. So if you should be telling your friends and your supporters to come and support you, there's free street parking. Now there is a garage if folks prefer to park in the garage. They can park in the garage, which is right next to the park. I believe it is $10 on the weekend, but there's plenty of street parking available for that particular day. So rain or shine, we are having Foodie Fest. As the forecast only suggests now, it is 11%. I was at Channel 5 talking to the meteorologist. I know the weather folks in Oklahoma sometimes can be a little unpredictable, but we anticipate having some great weather on the 11th. Only 11% chance of rain. So with that being said, as a participant, please do your due diligence to prepare accordingly, especially if you have open flames or whatnot. Just make sure you do your part and your preparation parts on your end. But we are going to have the event. If there's any severe weather, there'll be announcements made at the event. We're following our protocol. Since the last event, had a great chance to talk to many people in the metro area and even travel to some events outside the state to see how they operated. I went to a large festival in Houston. It rained all 3 days. I was soaked all 3 days. They still had the concert. They had big names there. So we instituted some process to make sure that we are prepared for the day, and also so that you all can make sure that you are able to show up and have a good day and a great financial day. So the event is Saturday from 11 to 4. So setup begins Saturday at 6:30 a.m. Saturday at 6:30 a.m. Y'all can see my background very clearly. These bottles back here kind of empty, got to restock, so don't worry about that. So Saturday starting at 6:30 a.m. But let me go ahead and pull up the map. So I'm gonna talk it through so it makes sense, makes better sense for you. One moment. Okay. Can y'all see my screen? You should be able to. Okay, so this is the map of Bicentennial Park. So the area here, you see the food truck zone here, where folks will enter. They're going to enter on the south side of food trucks on the south side of the park. So that way, when you're parking, your passenger side windows should be facing the park. So you'll enter on the south side of the Civic Center, and you're going to keep circling around. There's no assigned parking. There's no preferential parking. When you arrive, you will enter the south side, and you'll pull around until the next food truck right in front of you, all the way around. So we'll start at 6:30. The setup ends. You need to be done set up and in place and ready to go by 10 o'clock, because they're starting at 10:15 or 10:15. No later than 10:15, we're going to do a walk around to make sure that everyone is in place, everyone is good. Do some checks to be ready for things officially starting at 11 o'clock. Now, in the center area here where it says retail vendors and food carts, in this space here, this is where the tents and tables and 2 chairs will be set up for those who are food carts and retail vendors. On the north and south side of the park, there's parking on the north and south side of the park. So the earlier you arrive, the better. You'll be able to unload and then park your vehicles. So those of you who have food trucks, you will have to unhitch your vehicle and park in the closest parking lot to you. There'll likely be some parking around this horseshoe area right in front of City Hall and the museum. You can park there. But according to the guidelines that we've gone through with Park and Recreation, you will have to unhitch your vehicle. With that, of course, you are responsible for all your permits, your licenses. If you have a propane tank, you are required to have your permit by the fire marshal. Y'all, we got to do this thing the right way. I know there are some events going on in the city that will be going on in the city that are that are not following guidelines and safety processes, but we're not going to operate that way. It's for your safety, and as well as for us to have a great experience. So we're going to park all the way around. Now, those of you who end up parking on the Walker Street, because of the configuration, it will be staggered. So we'll be able to put more trucks on this Walker Street side here where my cursor is, where it's blocked off. So there'll be no, with these red barriers, there'll be no drive-through traffic. So once you enter and set up, that's it. So you'll be in place. There'll be nobody going in and out, no vehicles driving closer, no pedestrian traffic. It's all going to be foot traffic as you're getting set up. Excuse me. So that's set up for the day. On each corner, there will be 2 porta potties on each corner. So there are 8 porta potties with, I believe, 2 are ADA compliant. Oh, 3 are ADA compliant for those who need wheelchair accessibility. 3 of them are, and those are going to be delivered on that Friday, starting at 4 o'clock. So they'll be out there. I'll be out there. We'll have security officers out there just for protection, for patrol, out there on that day. Any questions regarding the map or layout to this point? And you can unmute yourself and answer any questions you got. And if you don't want to answer questions, you can also throw it in the chat and I'll respond back to you. So the day is pretty simple. So those returners who we had our first year at the previous park, kind of simple. You're going to roll around, line up. You all be ready to go. Plenty of time. Make sure you have all that you need. Some people have even asked if they can have some tables and chairs out front of their truck. Honestly, because it is technically a 5-hour event, I wouldn't get so wrapped up in trying to have a bunch of stuff out front of your truck and a big display and all that kind of stuff. I wouldn't spend as much time focused on that, but if you believe that's what gives your food truck or your food cart a great experience, then I'm open to that. But I also don't want you all to get wrapped up into having a bunch of extra stuff for your setup in your area where it becomes difficult to manage. So, because our goal is to continue promoting and bring a lot of attention to Foodie Fest, to have a lot of traffic in the area. So we've notified all the apartment complexes and the resident buildings around the park, so they are aware of Foodie Fest happening that day. City Council, Councilwoman Jo Beth Hammond is sitting out the word there downtown Oklahoma City. If you've seen the features on the calendar for Visit OKC, so we included some original content on that promotion. It's on social media and on the calendar, so we are featured in there. I serve as one of the commissioners for tourism, so they've been very helpful in helping us with that as well. As well as we were on Channel 5 Monday, but it aired today. It's because of the unfortunate tornadoes and disasters in the Sulphur area. Anybody who has family out there like I do, prayers to you, and I hope everybody is okay. On Monday, we have an interview with Living Oklahoma at 8:30, which I believe will air at about 9, I believe I was told. So it aired that morning as well for another live interview locally. But in regards to the map and the layout and the setup for the day, does anybody have any questions?
Will you point out the north and the south end of the street, the map?
Yeah, so if you look on looking at your screen, the bottom part, you're going to enter on the bottom part. And I always get the streets confused as Cold Court and Couch, or it just messing me up. But on the south side here, so you're going to go where the police department is. So back this way is where the police department is. So you're going to come down that road off of Chartel, pass through on your driver's side will be on the right, and the barrier will be open, and you'll just keep driving around to the next spot. We'll keep driving around too. Like I said, on both sides, the north and south side of each food truck zone, there's plenty of parking space on the north and the south side. I think there's probably 40 to 50 parking spaces, so you'll be able to park conveniently close when you unhitch. Park conveniently close to your food truck. Now there are no outlets and water supply in this park. So just prepare as if you were preparing to go do an event on your own. Just have your own setup and be ready to go during that time. The earlier, the better for you to arrive. That's why we're starting the setup at 6:30, so you all won't feel rushed for the setup on that day. Any other questions?
How many?
Yeah, sorry.
How many tables? How many tables and chairs are being provided for the retail vendors?
There are 2 tables, one 6-foot table and 2 chairs under the tents. And so the tents, there are some people who had, they brought an additional table if they wanted a table like right behind them or on the side of them. You can bring additional tables and chairs if you'd like to for your setup, as long as it fits underneath the 10 by 10.
Got it. Thanks.
The problem. And so for those who are under the tent, so this part had to be stay open because of there's an event that day, and the Civic Center likes to have that space open. So for those of you who are going to be under the tents, same thing, arrive as early as you can. We'll finish having the assignments. We had to make some changes to the map per Parks and Recreation, so it changed our numbers a little bit. But so when you are there to set up, you go to your space. You will be able to enter, if you're on the tables under the tents, you'll be able to enter this halfway driveway quickly because there's a waiting on that day. Unload your things. I would encourage you to bring a dolly or something like that makes it easy to transport. Now, because it is paved, so it'll make it easy to transport. Whereas the last time we were at Scissortail, had to walk through the grass. It was a little wet. It was a lot inconvenient for many of you in that space. But fortunately, there's concrete and paved areas, so you'll be able to pull a dolly or some type of transportation on wheels to get there. But you can't drive. You cannot drive into the park. You will not be able to do that. Once you get done unloading, then just move your vehicle to one of the parking lots as closest to you. throughout the rest of the event that day.
And when do we get our tent assignments, that morning or the day before?
You'll get them this week, but honestly, I mean, I just wouldn't, don't get so caught up into knowing like where your actual tent is. Just know the zone, just because if something changes, someone backs out and we have time to swap out, then I'll make some adjustments. So the rationale behind the tent area is to do a good mixture. So that way there's a mixture of, so we don't have like the same kind of cuisines next to each other, and positioning our retail vendors between people. So that way it seems real spread out and it's not the same clusters of food or cuisines close to each other, to not create any type of competition. Any other questions regarding the layout?
And the food truck, for the food trucks, the window be facing Bicentennial Park.
Yeah. So your serving window is going to be facing the park. So your driver's side window will be, so that's why we're saying we're entering down here. So your driver's side will be facing either the parking lot or, yeah, so we're facing the north, east, or south. If I got it in my head right, on direction. See. Yeah, but you're definitely, your serving window will be facing inside the park. Any other questions on the layout? Okay. So that's in regard to the layout. Stop sharing this. Okay. So that's in regards to the layout. And in terms of, again, so the licenses that you submitted before the October date, parks let me know that you don't have to resubmit any new licenses. But if you have questions or people are calling you from different departments or agencies about new licenses or updates directly from parks, and we talked about this with parks before the rescheduled date, you don't need to update any licenses. They're honoring them going forward. Now, in terms of your unlimited pass or your day pass for the event, they're honoring that. But in terms of your inspections or your things to have especially your food truck operational, you need to make sure you have those current. That's just because of your regular operations. Those of you who are home-based cooks, know for the Homestead Act that allows you to be exempt, but I'm highly encouraging you to just think about all the safety practices that you should have personally, because we do not assume any liability for anything that happens. Just so everyone is on the same playing field with their financial responsibilities, their liabilities, their insurance and permits. Let's just make that fair and equal. And please don't use it as a loophole, because we do have a responsibility to give a good experience with your food or retail services. Other thing, rain and shine, home-based vendors, licenses, insurance, permits, all that stuff. Everyone is good to go. I mean, y'all have done your thing with getting that stuff over to me, so I have that. I don't have any missing items from anyone from parks, so we have all that information. But in regards to that, any questions regarding permits, licenses, or anything like that in regards to the data?
Apollo, last year we went back and forth about the seasonings because we were told one thing. Mine are prepackaged by a co-packer, and they were talking about temporary license, but you said the year before some people were required and some weren't. So did we ever get clarification on that?
Yeah, so you don't need so if you are so your unlimited permit license, which I believe that's from the health department. So that license is something you'd have to get online. So they're just doing that's an online process for the.
So it's called a unlimited what?
What they call it, unlimited events license. Let's get the actual name. I think it's called an unlimited license. So especially if you're planning on going to events, different events, and selling at different events, where it's farmers markets or whatnot, from the health department, I'll get the link and I can send it directly to you. But
Okay.
yeah, there was a lot of confusion in that first year, that a bunch of changeover. But I think it's just good practice for you to have it, so that way you have it in place. But it's called an unlimited license.
Mm-hmm.
But the good thing is, so far, they've not told me that there's no issue. But what I would do on in your situation, I would still go ahead and do it, because it is the state health department, and
Okay.
yeah, I would go ahead and do that.
Okay, so in addition to that, they were talking about like a bucket with water and towels.
That's only if you're serving food. Are you planning on
Okay,
serving
so
food?
I'm not, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, that's for people like who have food, like under the tents. If they're having food, they're required to have a sanitation station. And those of you who are serving food under the tents, that's something that you all know you have to have. But if you are packaged goods, or your packaged products, they don't require that. But if you are planning on serving food, then that's part of the stipulation. It's actually in the packet that you fill out for that unlimited license. Anyone else got any questions about that so far? Looking at my notes to make sure I don't forget anything, give y'all time to answer any questions you have. So, okay, so last thing that I have, in regards to promotion of the event. So look at this as you taking charge of your own success. So we created some content, some easy things to use. So we are monitoring, we are checking to see how people are pushing and promoting. And there's a degree that, I mean, we're on my side, just really, doing the best I can and busting my hump to get the word out, from our digital ads, going on air, or the newspaper, the Herald newspaper, of course, through our podcast, through downtown Oklahoma City. There's a great partnership, so they're spreading the word through the districts about the event. The Arts Alliance, no, so the Allied Arts, like the two different names. Allied Arts, it's on their calendar. They're sending it out to their listserv too, as well as letting the Chamber of Commerce's know. So we're doing our part to get the word out. But something that I really want you all to do is think about, like, you're pushing this every day, because this is your success, and your audience needs to know that you're there. So sharing the event page, posting the branded content there's some caption templates in that email to make it easier for you to copy and paste. Well, if you're creative, do your own creative juices and let people know. But as the 43 total of the vendors there, as much as you spread the word and let people know that you're there, and bring your following, it really does help us to make sure that we have an outstanding attendance for the event on the 11th. Mother's Day weekend, there's nothing planned that weekend that I can recall that I've even seen. So it should be a great time to bring your mom or that special person, or come out, themed up, or have group events, or just something for that weekend with something to do. So we're expecting some great participation as well. So, but helping us in promoting it is something that I'm highly encouraging everybody to do, to take part in your own success, letting people know, please do not depend on the work that we do to do it all for you. That we're in this working together. We are not making a profit on this event. If I was willing to be transparent enough and tell you how much it costs to put this on, you might be shocked, because we are making no money off of this event, and that 100% will change as we go forward, because we just can't keep coming out of pocket in the way to facilitate. So we are 100% on board with supporting the small businesses and businesses like you. Foodie Fest will be the event that focuses on companies your size and businesses your size. So the more you promote and support, it spreads the word and puts money in your pocket, because we don't ask for fees in exchange for the stuff for the service that we offer. I love doing this, and I love making sure that we're making an impact. So I need every last one of you to, on all your social channels, talk about it, post it, share the event page, make comments. I mean, get the buzz out about you being there, because this is more about you all than it is about the Bigger Than Food Foundation. So that's it regarding branding. I'm excited about it. I'm really excited about it. There's been a lot of great buzz, a lot more support for that. Oh, last thing. So before I go to talk about the Foodie Fest Small Business Relief Fund, anything come up? Anything questions? So far from what I shared. Okay, I'll make this quick. So the Foodie Fest Small Business Relief Fund, if some of you have seen me post that and announce that, that came about in part because it was a really hard decision. I haven't talked much about the decision to move the event because of weather. There were some other events happening on that day that did not do well. I mean, I stand by the decision that we made, but also making tough decisions. It's a tough decision. So, but from that, I understand how tough it is. A lot of businesses have closed. And even as an entrepreneur myself, there's just not a lot of financial support and technical support for like food and retail businesses, especially if you are fewer than four employees, or it's just you. There just isn't. And what I've noticed in some of the programming and activities and these workshops, they're not helping you get to the money. And so the Foodie Fest Small Business Relief Fund was launched as a way to, one, is to provide cash money for things related to marketing and branding, and two, with our partnership with the University of Oklahoma College of Business, to provide you with marketing and branding technical assistance or training to specifically talk about how to attract customers and how to convert those customers to make money. We don't get into doing the things that we do, y'all, for free. We don't get into doing it just to say we love cooking or making products or selling products online or in person, just for the sake of it. We have dreams. And so that fund is created for that. So we have started our campaign. We've applied for many grants, and the goal is for us to have an evolving fund of $350,000. So annually, we will award up to approximately $200,000 in gifts, and what we call micro grants to those who apply. The applications will be available this summer, and so it's not limited to just those who participate in Foodie Fest. It is open to Oklahoma-based businesses, but we will have a process to evaluate all applicants. So the goal is to you have cash in hand if you're awarded, and also going through a 4-week process with people who know what they're talking about on how to help you attract customers and make money for your business so you can achieve your dreams. So that's just in a nutshell of the Foodie Fest Small Business Relief Fund. We're excited about it. We have a lot of commitments that will help us make that fund a reality. So it's, of course, it's spawned out of Foodie Fest and some other conversations, but this will be an annual revolving fund that will be able to support all our Oklahoma-based businesses. Other than that, it is 7:30. If anybody has any questions, I'll definitely answer them. Let me give you all room. If anybody has any questions for me before I close this out.
No questions for me, but I just want to thank you so much. The information, the opportunity. I've been waiting since last year. I was so sad. And now I'm extremely excited to make this money in the community and literally just support everything that you do for us. So thank you.
No problem. I appreciate it.
Hey, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. This is Michael with Oh My Gogi. My audio wasn't working earlier.
Okay.
So I didn't want to take up anybody's time, but I do have some questions from the earlier beginning of the meeting. So just have that question once it's over.
Yeah, okay. Or if you want, I could just give you a call after this if you want me to.
Either way.
Okay. Yeah, because we got 9 minutes left on this call. Anybody have any other questions? Well, all right. Well, like we say in the old school church, if all hearts and minds are clear, I'll let y'all go. And then Michael, you can stay on, and then I'll answer the rest of your questions. Any questions you have for the rest of the time. Thank y'all. I really do appreciate y'all. I mean, this happens because I'm seriously passionate about helping the underdog, the small business. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this is going to work out for you. I want you to be exhausted from having a great day. That's what I want. So I want you to be mad at me because you had a great day, and it was a great output for you. So I'll do anything I can to make sure that we make that happen on May 11th. Other than that, everybody else can log off, and then Mike, just stay on here, and I'll answer any questions that you have.
All right.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
that.
Thank y'all.